Stop everything right now. Take a deep breath. What I'm about to share with you in the next few minutes might sound like science fiction, but it's the purest reality proven by quantum physics. There's an invisible force connecting every thought you have to the fabric of the universe, and you've been using this force every single day without knowing it. Worse yet, you might be using it against yourself at this very moment. Imagine discovering that your mind isn't trapped inside your skull, that your thoughts don't just disappear into thin air, and that every emotion you feel is literally shaping the events around you. Sounds impossible? That's what Einstein thought too, until science proved him wrong. Today, laboratories around the world confirm there's an invisible connection between all things, a phenomenon so extraordinary it defies our understanding of reality. Have you ever had that feeling that something was about to happen, and then it did? Have you ever thought intensely about someone and they suddenly appeared or called out of nowhere? Have you ever desired something so strongly that it seemed impossible, yet somehow the universe conspired to make it happen? This isn't coincidence. It's not luck. It's the manifestation of a universal law that quantum physics calls entanglement, and that spiritual traditions have known for millennia. The problem is that most people are using this power completely wrong. Without realizing it, you might be transmitting signals of scarcity when you want abundance, vibrating fear while seeking love, emitting doubt when you need certainty. It's like trying to tune a radio to two stations at the same time. The result is just noise and frustration. But here's the transformative truth. When you understand how your mind really works, when you discover how your emotions create energetic waves that travel through the quantum field, when you learn to align your internal vibration with your deepest desires, your reality begins to reorganize in ways that seem like magic. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. The right people show up at the exact moment. Doors that were closed open by themselves. If you're feeling that spark of recognition right now, that sense that you've always known there was something more to reality than what you were taught, then you're ready for this knowledge. And if you want to master these principles and transform your life through quantum understanding, subscribe to this channel now. Every week, I decode the latest scientific discoveries about consciousness and show you how to apply them practically. Hit that subscribe button and let's unlock the hidden power of your mind together. The science I'm about to share with you isn't theory. These are discoveries confirmed by Nobel Prize-winning physicists, validated by globally recognized research institutes, and applied by millions of people who've discovered how to hack the matrix of reality. And the most impressive part, it all starts with a simple shift in how you understand your own mind. Everything you've been taught about reality is based on a fundamental lie, that you are separate from everything else. Your teachers told you that you end where your skin ends, that your thoughts stay inside your head, that there's you, and then there's the world outside. But quantum physics has shattered this illusion with discoveries so profound that even the scientists who made them struggled to accept what they found. In the early 20th century, physicists began peering into the smallest building blocks of matter, expecting to find solid particles behaving predictably. Instead, they discovered something that turned reality upside down. At the quantum level, particles don't exist in fixed states. They exist in what's called superposition, being in multiple states simultaneously until someone observes them. Even more shocking, these particles are connected to each other in ways that violate everything we thought we knew about space and time. The famous double-slit experiment became the gateway to this new understanding. Scientists fired photons, particles of light, through two parallel slits toward a detection screen. When no one was watching which slit the photons passed through, they behaved like waves, creating an interference pattern as if each photon went through both slits at once. But the moment scientists placed a detector to observe which slit the photons traveled through, everything changed. The photons suddenly behaved like solid particles, choosing one slit or the other. The mere act of observation changed physical reality. Think about what this means for a moment. The consciousness of the observer, simply looking, determines whether light behaves as a wave or a particle. If consciousness can influence the fundamental behavior of matter at the quantum level, what does that say about the power of your consciousness? What does it mean for the thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, the intentions you hold? But the revelation goes even deeper. In 1935, Albert Einstein and his colleagues proposed a thought experiment that would haunt physics for decades. They imagined two particles that had interacted and then been separated by vast distances, even light years apart. According to quantum theory, these particles would remain connected, and measuring one would instantly affect the other. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance and refused to believe it could be real. He thought it was a flaw in quantum theory. For nearly 50 years, this remained a theoretical debate. Then, in 1982, French physicist Alain Aspect conducted an experiment that changed everything. He proved Einstein wrong. Aspect demonstrated that entangled particles do indeed remain connected regardless of distance. Change one particle, and its partner changes instantly. Not at the speed of light, but instantaneously. This wasn't science fiction. This was measurable, repeatable scientific fact. The implications are staggering. If particles that once interacted remain forever connected, and if everything in the universe emerged from the same point during the Big Bang, then everything in the universe is entangled with everything else. Every atom in your body, every thought in your mind, every emotion in your heart is connected to the vast web of existence. You're not separate from the universe. You're an integral part of it, woven into its very fabric. This isn't just philosophical poetry. The Heart Math Institute has measured the electromagnetic field generated by the human heart, and it extends several feet beyond the body. This field carries information about your emotional state and interacts with the fields of other people, and even the Earth's magnetic field. When you feel an emotion, you're not just experiencing it internally. You're broadcasting it into the space around you, where it mingles with and influences other fields. Your thoughts, too, generate measurable electromagnetic activity. Every thought creates electrical impulses in your brain that produce magnetic fields. These fields, though subtle, extend beyond your skull and interact with the quantum field that permeates all of space. This means your mental activity isn't confined to your brain. It's participating in a cosmic conversation with the universe itself. Consider the profound shift this requires in how you see yourself. You're not an isolated individual struggling against an indifferent universe. You're a conscious node in an infinite network of interconnection, constantly exchanging information and energy with everything around you. Your thoughts ripple outward like waves on a cosmic pond. Your emotions create fields that influence reality at the quantum level. Your very existence is entangled with the existence of everything else. Your brain isn't just processing thoughts like a computer locked inside your skull. It's functioning as a sophisticated antenna, constantly transmitting and receiving frequencies from the quantum field that surrounds and penetrates everything in existence. This isn't metaphor or mysticism. It's measurable science that's revolutionizing our understanding of consciousness and its role in shaping reality. The Heart Math Institute, after decades of rigorous research, discovered something that should have made headline news worldwide. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field 60 times greater in electrical amplitude than your brain. But here's what's truly astounding. The magnetic component of your heart's field is approximately 5,000 times stronger than the magnetic field generated by your brain. This field extends several feet beyond your physical body, creating an energetic bubble that constantly interacts with the fields of other people, animals, and even the earth itself. But your heart isn't just pumping blood and generating fields randomly. The quality and pattern of this field changes based on your emotional state. When you experience positive emotions like gratitude, love, or joy, your heart rhythm becomes coherent. It creates smooth, ordered patterns that look like perfect sine waves on monitoring equipment. When you experience stress, anger, or fear, the pattern becomes chaotic and disordered. These patterns aren't just internal experiences. They're broadcast into the space around you like a radio station transmitting its signal. Now consider this. If your heart is broadcasting emotional information into the quantum field, and if that field connects everything in the universe, then your emotions are literally touching and influencing reality at every moment. You're not just feeling emotions. You're transmitting them into the fabric of existence itself, where they interact with other fields and influence the probability of events manifesting in your life. Your brain, meanwhile, operates on multiple frequency bands, each associated with different states of consciousness. Beta waves dominate when you're actively thinking and problem-solving. Alpha waves emerge when you're relaxed and creative. Theta waves, which are particularly important, appear during deep meditation and in the moments just before sleep. This theta state is where the magic happens. It's when your conscious mind steps aside and your subconscious becomes highly receptive to new programming. Here's where it gets even more fascinating. Your subconscious mind, which controls 95% of your daily actions and decisions, is constantly operating as a receiver and transmitter of information. It picks up frequencies from the environment, from other people, from the collective consciousness itself. It's processing millions of bits of information every second, far more than your conscious mind could ever handle. And based on its programming, it transmits a specific frequency back into the field. Think about what this means. While you're consciously focused on your daily tasks, your subconscious is having a conversation with the universe that you're not even aware of. It's sending out signals based on beliefs and programs installed in your early childhood, many of which you've never consciously examined. If your subconscious believes that money is hard to come by, it's broadcasting that frequency 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, attracting circumstances that confirm that belief. Dr. Bruce Lipton's groundbreaking research in epigenetics revealed that your subconscious mind is programmed primarily in the first 7 years of life. During this time, children's brains predominantly operate in theta frequency, the same state that hypnotists use to implant suggestions. This means that everything you heard, saw, and experienced as a child was downloaded directly into your subconscious as truth, without any filter of critical thinking. If you grew up hearing phrases like, "money doesn't grow on trees," "life is hard," or "you can't trust anyone," these became core programs in your subconscious operating system. Now, decades later, even if you consciously believe you deserve abundance and success, your subconscious is still running these old programs, transmitting their frequency into the quantum field and attracting experiences that match them. But here's the empowering truth. Just as a radio can be retuned to a different station, your mind can be recalibrated to broadcast a different frequency. The antenna doesn't need to be replaced. It just needs to be adjusted. The same subconscious that's been sabotaging you can become your greatest ally in creating the reality you desire. The same heart field that's been broadcasting chaos can begin transmitting coherence. The same brain waves that keep you locked in limiting patterns can be entrained to frequencies of expansion and possibility. Right now, as you read these words, 95% of your thoughts, actions, and decisions are being controlled by a program you didn't consciously choose. This isn't science fiction or mind control conspiracy. It's the documented reality of how your subconscious mind operates. You think you're making free choices, but the truth is far more unsettling. You're running on autopilot, following scripts written before you were old enough to question them. Dr. Bruce Lipton, a cellular biologist who spent decades studying human behavior at the cellular level, made a discovery that explains why so many people feel stuck in patterns they can't break. Your conscious mind, the part you identify as you, only controls about 5% of your daily behavior. The other 95%? That's all subconscious programming, running silently in the background like software you forgot was installed. Here's the shocking part. This programming was mostly installed before you turned 7 years old. During those early years, your brain operated predominantly in theta wave frequency, the same brain state that hypnotherapists use to implant suggestions directly into the subconscious. You weren't learning about the world. You were being programmed by it. Every word your parents said, every emotion you witnessed, every experience you had was downloaded directly into your subconscious as absolute truth. Think about the implications. If your father always worried about money, always said things like, "We can't afford that," or "Money doesn't grow on trees," those statements became part of your core programming. Not as ideas to consider, but as fundamental truths about how reality works. If your mother was always anxious about relationships, always warning you that you can't trust people or love always ends in pain, those beliefs were encoded into your operating system. Now, decades later, you might consciously believe you deserve wealth, love, and success. You might read all the right books, attend seminars, repeat positive affirmations. But underneath, your subconscious is still running that old program from childhood, still broadcasting those limiting frequencies into the quantum field, still attracting experiences that confirm those ancient beliefs. This explains the maddening cycle so many people experience. You decide to change your life. You set goals, make plans, feel motivated. For a few days or weeks, you make progress. Then, mysteriously, you sabotage yourself. You miss opportunities. You make inexplicable mistakes. You fall back into old patterns. You blame yourself for lack of willpower, but willpower isn't the problem. The problem is that your conscious mind is trying to drive in one direction, while your subconscious, which is literally 1,000,000 times more powerful in terms of processing capacity, is driving in the opposite direction. The subconscious doesn't evaluate whether these programs are good or bad, helpful or harmful. It simply runs them over and over, like a computer executing code. If the program says, "I'm not good enough," your subconscious will find ways to prove it true. It will cause you to act in ways that confirm this belief. You'll unconsciously choose situations and people that reinforce your inadequacy. You'll interpret neutral events as evidence of your unworthiness. You'll even distort positive experiences to fit this programmed narrative. Consider how this programming affects your relationships. If you witnessed unhealthy relationship dynamics as a child, your subconscious recorded that as normal. Now, even though you consciously want a healthy, loving partnership, you're unconsciously attracted to people who recreate those familiar patterns. You might even feel uncomfortable or suspicious when someone treats you well. because it doesn't match your programming. Your subconscious literally creates resistance to the very thing you consciously desire. The same applies to money. If you grew up in an environment where money was associated with struggle, conflict, or scarcity, your subconscious will ensure you recreate those conditions. You might earn money, but somehow it always disappears through unexpected expenses, bad investments, or self-sabotaging decisions. You're not unlucky or cursed. You're simply running a program that says money equals struggle, and your subconscious is faithfully executing that code. Even your health is affected by this programming. If you learned early that everyone in our family has bad health, or you have a weak constitution, your subconscious accepted this as fact. It then influences your immune system, your healing capacity, even your genetic expression, to align with this belief. Dr. Lipton's research in epigenetics proves that your beliefs can literally turn genes on or off, determining whether you express health or disease. But here's what changes everything. Once you become aware of this programming, you gain the power to rewrite it. The subconscious might be powerful, but it's not intelligent in the way your conscious mind is. It can't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. It can't tell the difference between a program installed in childhood and one you consciously choose to install now. This vulnerability is your gateway to transformation. Imagine two particles, born from the same source, separated by billions of miles of empty space. According to everything logical, they should have no connection, no way to communicate, no means of influencing each other. Yet when scientists change the spin of one particle, its twin responds instantly. Not in minutes, not in seconds, but in the same exact moment, faster than the speed of light. This impossible connection, called quantum entanglement, isn't just happening in laboratories. It's happening in your life, with your thoughts, with your emotions, right now. When physicist Alain Aspect proved quantum entanglement in 1982, he didn't just win a Nobel Prize. He shattered our understanding of reality. His experiments showed that once two particles interact, they remain connected forever, regardless of distance. Change one, and the other changes simultaneously, as if space doesn't exist between them. As if they're not two separate things, but one thing expressing itself in two locations. Now here's the paradigm-shifting question. If subatomic particles can be entangled, and you're made entirely of subatomic particles, what does that mean for your consciousness? What does it mean for your thoughts, your emotions, your intentions? Could your mind be entangled with other minds, with events, with possibilities that exist in the quantum field? Dr. Dean Radin at the Institute of Noetic Sciences has spent decades investigating this question, and his findings are revolutionary. In carefully controlled experiments, he's shown that human consciousness can influence random number generators, that people can sense when they're being stared at from behind, that individuals can affect the physiology of others from a distance. These aren't paranormal phenomena. They're expressions of quantum entanglement at the level of consciousness. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever known the phone was about to ring before it did, and known who was calling? Have you ever felt a sudden wave of emotion, only to discover later that someone you love was experiencing a crisis at that exact moment? Have you ever had a dream about someone you haven't seen in years, then encountered them the next day? These aren't coincidences. They're glimpses of the entanglement that connects your consciousness to the larger web of existence. Your emotions, in particular, seem to operate through quantum entanglement. The HeartMath Institute discovered that when people feel strong emotions, the electromagnetic field of their heart becomes more coherent and extends further into space. This field doesn't respect walls, distance, or even time. When you feel love for someone, that emotional frequency travels through the quantum field instantaneously, potentially affecting them regardless of where they are. This explains phenomena that conventional science struggles with. Mothers who suddenly know their child is in danger, even from thousands of miles away. Twins who feel each other's pain. Lovers who sense each other's emotional states without any communication. These connections aren't mystical, they're quantum. The emotional bond creates an entanglement that transcends physical separation. But entanglement doesn't just connect you to people. It connects you to possibilities. Every potential future, every possible outcome of your choices exists in what physicists call the quantum field of probability. Your consciousness, through the act of observation and intention, collapses these probabilities into actual experiences. When you focus intensely on a desired outcome, when you feel it emotionally as if it's already real, you're creating an entanglement with that possibility. This is why visualization works, but only when it's accompanied by genuine emotion. You're not just imagining a better future, you're creating a quantum entanglement with it. The stronger the emotional charge, the more coherent the visualization, the stronger the entanglement becomes. And once that entanglement is established, that future starts pulling you toward it, just as you're pulling it toward you. The implications are staggering. Every relationship you've ever had created quantum entanglements that still exist. Every intense experience, every moment of deep emotion, every significant choice, they all created connections in the quantum field that continue to influence your reality. You're not just connected to your past and future. You're entangled with them in ways that transcend linear time. This also explains why certain people seem to manifest their desires effortlessly while others struggle. Those who succeed aren't just thinking positive thoughts. They're creating strong quantum entanglements with their desired outcomes through coherent emotion and sustained focus. They're not hoping for change. They're entangled with it at the quantum level, making it inevitable rather than possible. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold vibrates at a specific frequency. This isn't metaphorical. It's measurable electromagnetic activity that can be detected with sensitive instruments. And here's what changes everything. The frequency you vibrate at determines what you can perceive, what you attract, and ultimately, what becomes real in your life. You're not just observing reality. You're tuning into it like a radio receiver, and the station you're tuned to determines the music you hear. Dr. David Hawkins spent decades researching human consciousness and created a map of consciousness frequencies. He found that emotions like shame, guilt, and fear vibrate at very low frequencies, below 200 Hz. Emotions like love, joy, and peace vibrate at much higher frequencies, above 500 Hz. But here's the crucial discovery. You can't access higher frequency experiences while vibrating at lower frequencies. It's like trying to receive an FM station on an AM radio. The equipment simply isn't calibrated for it. This explains why positive thinking alone doesn't work. You can repeat "I am abundant" 1,000 times. But if your emotional frequency is vibrating at fear and scarcity, around 100 Hz, you're still broadcasting poverty into the quantum field. The universe doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your frequency. And your frequency is determined not by what you say, but by what you genuinely feel at the deepest level of your being. Transforming your frequency isn't about forcing positive emotions or suppressing negative ones. It's about consciously choosing which frequencies to sustain and amplify. When you understand that every emotional state is simply a frequency, you gain the power to tune yourself like an instrument. You can literally recalibrate your energetic signature to match the reality you want to experience. The process begins with awareness. Most people live their entire lives without realizing they're broadcasting a frequency. They wonder why they keep attracting the same types of people, the same problems, the same limitations. They don't realize they're sending out a consistent signal that the universe is faithfully responding to. It's like complaining about a radio station while refusing to change the dial. Here's how to shift your frequency systematically. First, identify your dominant emotional state. Not what you think you feel, but what you actually feel most of the time. Are you generally anxious, frustrated, hopeful, content? This baseline frequency is what you're broadcasting 24/7, and it's what the quantum field is responding to. Next, understand that changing frequency requires more than mental intention. Your entire system, mental, emotional, and physical, needs to shift together. This is why meditation is so powerful. When you meditate, your brain waves slow from beta to alpha to theta. Your heart rate variability increases. Your electromagnetic field becomes more coherent. You're literally tuning your entire system to a different frequency. But meditation alone isn't enough. You need to embody the frequency of what you desire. If you want abundance, you need to feel abundant now, before the money appears. This isn't pretending or denial. It's understanding that the feeling creates the frequency, and the frequency attracts the reality. You're not waiting for abundance to feel abundant. You're feeling abundant to create abundance. Dr. Joe Dispenza has documented thousands of cases where people healed themselves from terminal illnesses by changing their frequency. They didn't just think about being healthy. They generated the emotional frequency of already being healed. They felt gratitude for their healthy body before it was healthy. They experienced the joy of vitality while still in disease, and their bodies responded by manifesting the reality that matched their frequency. The same principle applies to every area of life. Want a loving relationship? Generate the frequency of already being loved. Feel the warmth, the connection, the security of being deeply cherished, not as a fantasy, but as a current emotional reality. Your frequency will then attract people and circumstances that match this vibration. This is why gratitude is such a powerful frequency transformer. When you feel genuine gratitude, your frequency instantly rises above 500 hertz. You shift from lack to abundance, from fear to love, from separation to connection. And the quantum field, which is always listening, begins reorganizing reality to match this new frequency. But here's the key. Consistency matters more than intensity. It's better to maintain a slightly elevated frequency all day than to spike high for a few minutes and crash back down. The quantum field responds to your dominant frequency, not your peak experiences. This is why daily practices are so important. They keep you calibrated to higher frequencies, even when life tries to pull you back down. Just when you think you've figured it all out, just when your frequency starts shifting and you begin seeing small signs of change, something unexpected happens. A financial crisis appears out of nowhere. A relationship suddenly becomes turbulent. An old pattern you thought you'd overcome returns with vengeance. Most people interpret these challenges as proof that this quantum stuff doesn't work, that they're not meant to have what they desire, that the universe is against them. But they're reading the signs completely wrong. These challenges aren't punishments or failures. They're confirmations that transformation is actually happening. Think of it like this. When you start vibrating at a new frequency, you're essentially declaring to the universe that you're ready to live a different reality. But the universe needs to verify that this isn't just a temporary mood swing or a fleeting desire. It needs to know that you're truly committed to this new frequency, that you can maintain it even when circumstances challenge you. So it sends you what I call frequency tests, situations specifically designed to see if you'll revert to your old vibration or maintain your new one. These tests aren't random or cruel. They're precisely calibrated to your specific transformation. If you're working on abundance, you might suddenly face an unexpected expense. If you're calling in love, an ex might reappear or you might face rejection. If you're claiming your power, you might encounter situations that tempt you to play small. The test always relates directly to what you're trying to manifest. Here's what actually happens at the quantum level. When you begin vibrating at a new frequency, there's a period of overlap where your old reality and new reality exist simultaneously. You're literally standing between two timelines, two versions of yourself, two possible futures. The old timeline has momentum. It's been reinforced by years or decades of consistent vibration. It doesn't disappear immediately just because you've decided to change. During this transition period, both realities are pulling at you. The old reality uses familiar situations to pull you back. It feels safe, known, predictable. Even if it's painful, it's a pain you understand. The new reality is calling you forward, but it requires you to maintain a frequency you're not yet comfortable with, to trust in something you can't yet see, to be someone you've never been before. This is the crucial moment where most people fail. When the test comes, they panic. They interpret the challenge as evidence that nothing has changed, that they're doomed to repeat old patterns forever. Their frequency crashes back to the old familiar vibration, and the universe, always responsive, stops the transformation process. Not as punishment, but as obedience to their frequency command. But those who understand what's really happening respond differently. When the challenge appears, they recognize it as confirmation that their frequency shift is working. They understand that the universe is asking, "Are you sure about this new reality? Can you maintain this frequency even when I show you the opposite?" And instead of panicking, they double down on their new vibration. Dr. Joe Dispenza calls this the dark night of the soul in transformation. It's when everything seems to go wrong just before the breakthrough. He's documented countless cases where people healing from diseases experienced their worst symptoms just before complete healing. People manifesting abundance faced their biggest financial crisis just before prosperity flowed in. Couples reconciling experienced their worst fight just before breakthrough to new intimacy. Why does this happen? Because transformation requires the complete death of the old self. And that old self doesn't go quietly. It fights for survival by creating circumstances that justify its existence. If your old self believes in scarcity, it will create scarcity to prove it's right. If it believes in unworthiness, it will create rejection to confirm that belief. This isn't the universe testing you. It's your old frequency making one last attempt to survive. The key to passing these tests is understanding that your response is more important than the circumstance. When financial challenge appears while you're manifesting abundance, can you maintain a frequency of prosperity anyway? Can you feel grateful for money you don't yet see? Can you act from abundance even while experiencing lack? Your response to the test determines whether you complete the frequency shift or return to the old pattern. This is also why timing seems so mysterious in manifestation. People often ask, how long will it take? The answer isn't about calendar time. It's about how long it takes you to stabilize at the new frequency regardless of external circumstances. Some people can do this in days, others take years. The universe isn't withholding your desire. It's waiting for you to maintain the frequency that matches it. You've learned about quantum entanglement, about frequencies and vibrations, about the tests the universe sends. You understand that your mind is an antenna, that your subconscious holds programs from childhood, that everything in existence is connected through an invisible field. But there's one final paradox you must master to unlock your full potential. The art of desiring without grasping, of knowing without forcing, of creating without controlling. This is the ultimate secret that separates those who occasionally manifest from those who live in constant flow with the universe. The paradox is this: the more desperately you want something, the more you push it away. not because the universe is playing games, but because desperation vibrates at the frequency of lack. When you grasp at something, you're broadcasting the signal that you don't have it. When you chase it, you're confirming it's running from you. When you need it, you're declaring you're incomplete without it. And the quantum field, always faithful to your frequency, reflects back exactly what you're broadcasting. More wanting, more chasing, more needing. True manifestation happens in a state of what seems like contradiction. Passionate desire combined with complete detachment. You want it with every fiber of your being, yet you're perfectly at peace without it. You're committed to its manifestation, yet you're not attached to how or when it appears. You know it's coming with absolute certainty, yet you're not waiting for it. This isn't indifference, it's trust. This isn't giving up, it's letting go of the illusion of control. Think about how you breathe. You don't force your lungs to expand, desperately pulling at air. You simply allow the breath to flow, trusting completely that the next breath will come. You're not attached to any particular breath, yet you're certain breathing will continue. This is the state of consciousness that creates miracles, complete engagement without desperate attachment, absolute certainty without anxious waiting. The universe responds not to your need, but to your knowing. When you know something is yours, when you feel it in your bones without a shred of doubt, you stop chasing it. You stop looking for signs. You stop measuring progress. You simply live in the frequency of already having it. And that frequency becomes a magnetic force that draws your desire to you effortlessly. This is why gratitude is the ultimate manifestation accelerator. When you're genuinely grateful for something, you're not desperately wanting it. You're acknowledging you already have it. Gratitude is the frequency of completion, of fulfillment, of already having received. When you can feel grateful for your abundance before the money appears, grateful for your health before the healing manifests, grateful for love before the relationship arrives, you've mastered the paradox. Dr. Wayne Dyer captured this perfectly when he said, "You don't get what you want. You get what you are. Your beingness, your state of consciousness, your energetic signature. That's what creates your reality. Not your wanting, not your trying, not your forcing. When you become the person who already has what you desire, when you embody that frequency consistently, the universe has no choice but to reflect that reality back to you." Here's the practical application of this final key. Stop trying to get something from the universe and start recognizing you are the universe expressing itself. You're not separate from the quantum field, begging it to give you something. You're part of it, creating from within it. The power isn't outside you, it's flowing through you at this very moment. Every breath you take is the universe breathing through you. Every thought you think ripples through the quantum field because you are the field thinking. The surrender isn't about giving up your desires. It's about giving up the illusion that you're separate from them. It's recognizing that everything you want is already yours in the quantum field of infinite possibility. Your job isn't to make it happen, but to allow it to happen by maintaining the frequency of its reality. As you move forward from this moment, remember that transformation isn't a destination. It's a way of being. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. Operate from your old programming or consciously choose your frequency for the day. Every challenge that arises is an opportunity to demonstrate your mastery, to show the universe that you can maintain your chosen vibration regardless of circumstances. Every interaction, every decision, every breath is a chance to broadcast the frequency of who you're becoming rather than who you've been. The journey you're embarking on isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. There will be days when you forget everything you've learned here, when you fall back into old patterns, when the illusion of separation feels more real than the truth of connection. That's okay. That's human. The difference now is that you know the way back. You understand the science, you have the tools, you know the truth. You can always return to your breath, to gratitude, to the knowing that you're entangled with everything you desire. As we close this transmission, I want to leave you with this final truth. You are more powerful than you've ever imagined. Not because of what you might become, but because of what you already are. You are consciousness itself, temporarily focused in this physical form, playing in the quantum field of infinite possibility. Every limitation you've believed in was just a misunderstanding of your true nature. Every struggle was just forgetting who you really are. From this day forward, you can never again claim ignorance of your power. You know that your thoughts create electromagnetic fields. You know that your emotions broadcast frequencies. You know that your consciousness collapses quantum possibilities into physical realities. You know that you're entangled with everything in existence. This knowledge isn't just information, it's activation. Something has shifted in you just by receiving this transmission. Your frequency has already begun to change. Thank you for taking this journey with me into the depths of quantum reality and consciousness. Thank you for being open to possibilities beyond what conventional thinking allows. Thank you for being ready to claim your power as a conscious creator. The universe has been waiting for you to remember who you are, and now that remembering has begun. As you go forward, know that you're not alone in this journey. Every person who awakens to their quantum nature strengthens the field for everyone else. Your transformation ripples outward, touching lives you'll never meet, inspiring changes you'll never see. You're part of a growing wave of consciousness that's shifting humanity from victim to creator, from separation to connection, from fear to love. The quantum field is responding to you right now. It's rearranging itself around your new understanding. Synchronicities are already being prepared. People are being guided toward you. Opportunities are aligning. Your only job is to maintain your frequency, trust the process, and allow the magic to unfold. This isn't goodbye. It's the beginning of your conscious dance with the universe. Every time you apply what you've learned here, you strengthen your connection to the field. Every time you maintain your frequency despite challenges, you prove your mastery. Every time you choose love over fear, abundance over scarcity, connection over separation, you're writing a new story for your life. Go now, knowing that you carry within you the power to transform not just your own reality, but the collective reality we all share. Your transformation matters. Your frequency matters. You matter. The universe is waiting to see what you'll create with your newfound understanding. Remember, you're not trying to change your life. You're allowing it to transform by changing your frequency. You're not seeking power. You're remembering you've always had it. You're not learning to manifest. You're mastering what you've always been doing unconsciously. The quantum field is listening. Your new reality is waiting. Your transformation starts now. Welcome to your awakened life.